Welcome at the new episode of the Flizzcast, where I, Jelmer, invite friends and clients of Flizz to talk about e-commerce, email marketing, and a lot of other fun stuff. And today I have Luuk here from DEPLAY. DEPLAY is a really cool kids brand focused on kids tablets and the software around it, where kids can play and develop themselves. By the tablet.
Yes.
Often you run into parents that give their kids their iPad or phone, and then they run into a lot of issues with kids by accident buying something from the App Store, for example, or other things.
Yes.
And that's where your brand comes into play. DEPLAY. So
DEPLAY.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you maybe explain a little bit what DEPLAY stands for and how you actually got to start with it?
Yes, of course. Thanks for the invitation, Jelmer, to be on this beautiful podcast. DEPLAY stands for Developing and Play, because if I can give a little background story, like 3 years ago when we were found, I wanted to start a brand, to create a brand with toys, kids toys, but also I love personal development. So I thought, like, what if we can create an educational toy brand where we can mix developing and play? So we thought developing, play, DEPLAY. So that was how DEPLAY was founded. Educational toys, music instruments, but we got most popular and famous in Netherlands nowadays because of our kids' tablets and kids' watches. And yeah, I think we have a really nice market fit where we can solve big problems, where we can make a lot of kids happy, but also develop them on an educational, responsible way. So that's why we are here.
Yeah, and how did you get the idea initially 3 years ago? Because it's quite the jump out of nowhere to run into kids' tablets, and of course you got an idea at some point, but how did that develop itself?
The funny part is that with a lot of brands, entrepreneurs, they have this magical idea. And then they don't know if it's going to work. They don't know if it's going to sell. So we started as an e-commerce brand. So what we first did was doing the research. So we checked the platforms in the Netherlands. We checked the Google Trends. And we saw, hey, there is a demand of educational toys. There is a demand in keywords, in revenue, in tablets. So we thought it's a really interesting market with a lot of demand. But there is not a good supply, not a good offer. So we thought, hey, there is a chance where we knew upfront, hey, there is demand, so let's make a brand about it, and let's make a product which solves all the problems in that market. So that's why we found it. Okay, let's make a kids tablet.
Very nice, very nice. And how did you go about it? So you went to develop it first from scratch before you put it on the market, or when did you go the other way around, where first you were selling it to see hey, what is actually working for us, and how do we get the best results with the kids, for example? Or
it's a good question. We went to look for manufacturers, to factories, mainly in China, because some people think from China you only can buy shit from China or whatever. But I think even our iPhone, our MacBooks, all the electronics we use nowadays, or TVs, are made in China. And I think if you find the right supplier, the right factory, they can make beautiful products. So 3 years ago we launched some, and we are developing and play, we also develop the products every year. So every year we are gonna make better tablets, better watches, with new specs, with new features. So we try to develop it every day, and until the day we are here, we try to make it better every day. Yeah.
That's so nice. And do you have a certain mission around it? Do you have maybe that you want to help X amount of kids or families, or what is kind of the your driving force? Yeah, the why behind your brand.
That's good you ask, because it's not just selling a product. Our mission, DEPLAY brand, goes way deeper. Because when I was, for example, a teenager, 10 years ago, I wouldn't say I got bullied, or I was neither really popular, but I didn't know my place in school, in society. I was a little insecure. I didn't have a lot of friends. So I thought, wait, I miss some social skills. But I realized that now. 10 years ago, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And that's what I another time told you. Like, why do we, are we get judged on high school, for example, on history or in geographics or on biology or whatever? We have to remember things in our school, in our current school system. But what we do miss is social skills. How do you defend yourself if you get bullied? How do you handle stress or pressure from your peers? So with that, I thought, hey, those missing social skills, is there a way we can develop, we can teach those social skills to the next generation? So we thought, okay, DEPLAY is our vehicle to reach a lot of customers, a lot of parents. And hopefully, if the brand is growing, we can teach those, I think, beautiful skills, those soft skills, those social skills, to the next generation through our brand DEPLAY. So that's the driving force. We don't only want to have a really great educational, responsible product, for example, a kid's tablet, but we also want to teach those social skills, what I missed in my education, to the next generation.
So actually, you just want to also disrupt the school system as it is today.
Yes. We're going to disrupt the school system. That's what we're going to do, 100%.
Nice.
Yes.
Actually, I heard in Denmark this year, I believe next year, sorry, they're implementing a law which says that high school students, I believe from second year high school, something like that, they can go 2 days a week working at a company as an apprentice to learn a lot of different skills rather than just being in the theory books in the classroom, right?
Wow.
And when I read that, I was like, wow, this is great, because like in general, like it's tough to go straight from school into like work. And like you say, like a lot of people are missing social skills. They're missing a lot of experience, like dealing with people, dealing with emotions, dealing with several other things, economics as well, and stuff like that, right? And I think that was amazing already, but like actually your brand is an addition to an early stage of life where kids from, I believe, I don't know which age range are.
Yeah, they start from 2, 3, 4 years until, let's say, 2 till 8, 2 till 10. That age range. And lately I found a study. I don't know if you know, Jelmer, but did you know the faster a toddler learns EBC 1 to 3, the faster they start to develop social skills. Because of course, before you can develop social skills, develop self-confidence, productivity, how to communicate, how to interact, of course, you need to speak. You need to have the language. You have to know the language. And the faster you learn 1 to 3 ABC, the faster you can start developing those things. So I think with, for example, kids' tablets, but also other toys, music instruments, whatever, if people start on a young age to learn those skills, they also can start developing the social skills way earlier.
Yeah, and actually, I think it also aligns with the fact that like the first 7 years of age of a kid defines kind of the blueprint in their mind for the future years, right? Like, and the earlier they learn languages, for example, the easier it becomes for them.
100%.
Because like, honestly, you learn Spanish.
Claro que sí.
If I'm learning Spanish a little bit now too, but like if I have to do it now, it's way harder than back in the days, right?
I can imagine. And that's also a funny thing, because now a friend of me, he has a son, and his son was 4 years old. He speaks Spanish, Catalan, English, German, and is already practicing learning French. So this kid is not even 5 years and can speak almost 5 languages. And I think that's incredible. That's amazing. But still, nowadays with DEPLAY, we have this kids, really educational, responsible kids tablet with Dutch apps, but also English apps, and you can download every language app. But still, we get complaints from Dutch parents who are saying, even though there are some Dutch apps, I think the apps are too much in English. I just want to have more Dutch apps. And I'm like, okay, of course, have to give a good answer to the to the customer. But like you should not think in or, but in and. You know, like in both. Of course, it's good. You can learn Dutch, but please, if you have a young kid, let them or motivate them, stimulate them to speak the languages, because it's such a wonderful gift if you can teach that to your kids in a young age.
Yeah, 100%. It will benefit them a lot, 100%. But also, like when you're a teenager, at least my teenage years were a lot like, I don't like languages, I don't want to learn it in school and stuff like that. But then when I got...
Why do you think that?
I mean, it's just personally because like a teacher kind of pushes it onto you. You're not having an inner motivation to do it because you're like, why do I need this language? Right?
Yes.
I'm living in whatever, Denmark, the Netherlands. Why do I need this language? But then in the future, when you get to a certain country and you want to learn that language, then you're kind of screwed up already because like, hey, in the later age, you can learn it, of course, but like it takes a little bit more time and more effort. And then it's a lot harder. So
if you push people, I think their first reaction will be like, "Fuck you!" I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, why should I? You know. And for example, what I see with this kid from a friend who speaks almost 5 languages in 4 or 5 years old, is he doesn't have to learn. The parents both speak also more languages, but they stimulate the kid because he can watch some videos or he can do some games on kids' tablets or other educational toys. And with that, the kid is happy, and on a really easy way, he can learn these languages, you know. But if you're gonna say, "Hey, kid, you have to read this, or you have to do this," you know, the first reaction is like, "No, I'm not gonna."
They get rebellious.
Rebellious, exactly.
But actually, also this phenomenon allows your brand to scale in a lot of different countries, of course.
Yes,
because you're supporting. Are you supporting more languages already, or is it coming?
Every language which you want, we can support it.
Nice.
Yes,
yeah, that's very unique. And like because you're focusing on one specific product category, and you can widely spread the word in different languages, it kind of also allows you to scale on a whole different level than a lot of other businesses.
100%. But that's the thing. With we started as an e-commerce brand. Of course, we're also going to sell more B2B in the physically stores in the Netherlands coming years. But the challenge with e-commerce, you also have a lot of experience with that, is you need stock. Exactly. Of course, you know, you have drop shipping where you ship it straight from factories or whatever. I'm not a fan of that. I like to have stock. So if a customer orders something, the next day they receive the package. And with that, you have to buy all, in this case, tablets before you can sell them. And then it's like, we are like, I wouldn't say market leader, but we are really famous, becoming a bigger brand in Netherlands. If we want to scale abroad, we need a lot of cash, a lot more of money. And if we want to go to Germany, go to Spain, go to France, Italy, whatever, Denmark, we need a lot more cash. And I like to do things first good before I'm going to do it, too fast, without bad delivery or without good delivery, with customer complaints. So, first things first, step by step.
For sure.
And then when we have the Dutch market, we can go, of course, scale in Europe.
Luckily in Europe, shipping times are getting quite fast. And the shipping game is improving constantly. So maybe in a year or two, you can ship to Germany and perhaps Denmark or other countries within like a day or two.
I think we already can do that now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's the world is developing.
Yes, developing and play.
Exactly.
Yes.
And when it comes to, let's say, your ways of marketing, what do you feel has been the most effective marketing over the last year, for example? And where do you think that will go to in 2024, for example?
That's a really interesting question. What I believe is that there is no just single way of marketing. I always think in, like I just said before, and like not just one of those, but all. So what I believe is like all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X, Pinterest, you name it, we do it. But not only Insta or social media, but also email marketing, Google ads, affiliate marketing, blogs. What we want to do is create this eco space where people typing kids tablet and then we pop up, because people think we don't need a kids tablet, we need a DEPLAY kids tablet. So I think from cold traffic, it's Google, it's social ads, but on the back end, I think email marketing is really important because then you already have your customer or they already know you, they filled in the email and you can send them an offer. You can send them like a nice deal. You can send them maybe something for free. So in that case, we love to use email marketing. Yes.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. So now we're knowing each other for around, I believe, 2.5 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
We've been growing slowly up with the email marketing.
Slowly but steady, right?
Slowly but steady, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have a lot of nice things lined up for the next year. And already earlier today, we had some nice behind-the-scenes talks about some fun strategies that you could deploy.
Yes,
so that's really nice. How have you been experiencing the collaboration and the email marketing so far? And how do you feel like email marketing could leverage itself to in 2024?
Yes, that's a good question.
It's actually 2 questions in one. But
yes, no, I try to make a little bit of it, and if I'm not clear, just interrupt me.
Yeah, for sure.
No, the thing is, from my background, I studied marketing, I studied sales, so I could do email marketing myself. But I'm like a business owner. I'm the founder of DEPLAY, and I know if I'm going to do full-time email marketing, I cannot develop the branding. I cannot do social media. I cannot lead the team. I cannot have contact with customers. So I thought, as a business owner, outsource things and don't be arrogant that you think you can do everything yourself the best. So that's why we got connected and met you for email marketing. And that's what I like about Flizz. I know a lot of things about email marketing, but Flizz is really an expert on email marketing. And they can help me with writing emails, with creating this no-brainer offer for our customers. So yeah, since 2.5 years we work together, and I'm really happy with that. Sorry, I totally forgot your 2 questions. I
all good.
Telling a little bit, but yeah.
Happy to hear. Yeah, the second question was actually how you feel that the email marketing is and email marketing in general is, in your opinion, gonna grow in 2024. Because personally, I think zero-party data, so data from people entering their personal information by themselves, voluntarily.
Yes.
So I think that becomes more and more important over the coming years, since tools tools like Facebook, Google, TikTok, you name it, X Twitter, to say, it becomes more and more kind of
difficult,
but there's a lot of legislation around it that kind of puts a stopper on it on the privacy side, and targeting is becoming a little bit more scarce.
Yeah,
options are becoming a bit more scarce over the coming years. Of course, there's still a ton of targeting left, but it's becoming a little bit less specific.
Yes.
So every lead that you get in voluntarily is becoming more valuable with zero-party data, of course. So I'm kind of thinking, what are your thoughts about that, and how do you think it can be utilized in the right way in the next year?
Yes. The first story which pops up in my mind right now is it's all about the brand. What I mean with that, Nike or Adidas doesn't knock on your door to sell you the shoes. No, you go to the Nike or Adidas or Under Armour or whatever store to buy those shoes because you know the brand, you feel some connection with the brand, and you think I don't want to have white shoes, I want to have white Nike shoes, for example. So with that being said, I think a big brand or your name as a brand is really important in the long run. I also believe more in in long-term growth than in short-term sales. So that being said, your brand developing is way more important in the long run. And if you develop a strong brand, people would love to give their email address because they want to have updates about your brand.
Yeah.
So I think in 5 or 10 years, the regulations are even more strict, are even more difficult to target cold audiences. So what you want to do now is build brand so that people won't say, in our case, we bought a kids tablet on Amazon. No, they say, we bought a DEPLAY kids tablet, also with voice coming up. Maybe, they talk, 10 years about voice and Google and Siri and all those things. So it's already a long time in the space, but still it's not mature.
Exactly.
But I think in 5 to 10 to 15 years, people won't even open the Amazon or bol.com or platform or web shop app. They do voice. They say, hey, give me a Nike shoe, give me an Adidas shoe, give me a DEPLAY kids tablet. And I think that's developing. So brand is way more important in the long run.
Yeah.
That's why we focus on building a brand. And that's why email marketing can help. Because if you are a fan of a brand, of course, you would like to give your email because you want to know, you want to be the first who receive emails, who receive offers, who receive pre-Black Friday deals, So I believe the stronger the brand, the better email marketing will be.
Exactly. That's a really good one. How is your thought about, to jump a little bit more into this, how's your thought about, especially in your case in the kids space?
Yes.
How important do you think virtual reality will play a role in, for example, augmented reality?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm very keen in learning about augmented reality in emails and stuff like that. It's not really prevalent yet because the technique is not fully there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or of course using AI for product targeting, for example. But I believe that somewhere in the next few years, AI will become so powerful that also stuff like virtual reality, augmented reality can kind of start being embedded into emails so that when people scan something or open the email, that then they can click on something and they can see it in their living room or something like that.
Yes, or the Google Glasses.
Exactly, yeah.
With
actually, wasn't it next year that the Apple is launching the glasses? How is it called? The Apple, I don't know.
I think you can make like a pop-up and then in the edit later. I don't know the name right now.
I think when that gets
Apple
launched
glasses,
and then with the apps for emails, well, it will get crazy. The stuff you can do with it.
I'm really curious, and I think it's technology. A lot of people, maybe more conservative people, are negative or are talking bad about AI. They say, they're gonna steal our jobs, or it's the end of the world. You know.
Yeah.
But the same negative or conservative people of thoughts was said 10 years ago when the big rise of social media. Or 20 years ago when the internet bubble, there were the same people. These people said, with internet we lose all jobs or things. And the funny thing is, they said the same thing 60 years ago with the TV, or 100 years ago with the radio, or a couple of 100 years ago with the printing press, or in 1800 there was an invention. I don't know if you know which one it was, and they said this invention is the end of the world. They're gonna steal all our jobs.
Wasn't it something like something with the electricity light bulb, something like that?
Maybe as well, but in this example, I mean the tractor.
Interesting. I didn't hear about that one yet.
Yes, because they were saying all the farmers, they were just before producing the goods on the field just with their hands. Yeah. And then it came out and everything changed. They thought. And nowadays we still have farmers. We use it. We use the machines on land, so on the field. So I think technology is a good thing, but you just have to adapt. If you don't adapt, like I think Charles Darwin said, then you will die or you will go bankrupt. So I think it's a good technology. You only have to use it wisely.
Yeah, I think also that AI in general is just an amplifier for everything we already do. Of course, some jobs can be replaced with it, but also where jobs get replaced, there is a whole new industry popping open.
Yes.
So there's a lot of new things, and as long as people keep adapting and improving and learning about it, then it will only get better. Like you said, with the farmers in this case, they're scaling harder, bigger farms. They can produce more because they have tractors.
They can feed more people.
Exactly.
100%.
And I think still, I mean, the world's population still on a rise. So I think that it's also needed to keep up with the demands of the world, so to say.
Yes, and maybe this is a little bit like spiritually, but I think also everything is meant to be. You know, so even though if AI takes over the world or whatever, then it has to happen like this.
I agree.
Because people say, but what if robots are going to kill us? Okay.
that's
really
right?
harsh, but then it has to happen like this because apparently we humans, we made them. You know? So honestly, I think you can, trying to neglect, try to ignore it, or you can just implement it in a positive way and just be practical instead of, delusional or whatever, and just implement it in a positive way.
And the same with email marketing, for example. Like I realized email marketing is actually one of the oldest forms of digital marketing.
Yes.
Because as soon as the internet was born, emails followed like straight after, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because what do you want to do when you have internet and you can communicate from A to B? You want to send a letter.
Didn't have WhatsApp, didn't have Facebook Messenger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that popped up, but then kind of developed over many, 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 many years. And now you see all these new technologies like AI and virtual reality and blah, blah. It's kind of getting integrated into it like, hey, how can we make something that is already existing for a while even better, even stronger, and so forth. And if you look at, for example, Facebook, it's like, what are you doing on Facebook? In the first version of Facebook, it was like sharing messages with your friends.
Yes.
Which also is kind of an evolvement of email, if you think about it from the very early days.
It's socializing.
Exactly.
The human need.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then, Instagram came out and then it became more photo, and now you have TikTok is more like video based, and it will develop like that. But it all comes down to the creation of the internet. And actually that we are sitting here running our businesses and the way we do, all the connections and relationships we made over the last years, everything is through the internet.
Yes.
So that's just very cool to acknowledge, and like you say, like try to adapt, because if we didn't adapt in that young age, we wouldn't be here now.
Yes. And also, I think a lot of maybe more older generation, they say, yes, and then I'm at work and all my younger colleagues are using the phone and they not interact with each other.
Yeah.
Before, in the past, everything was better. And then I can remember stories, not before I was born even, but I heard them later on.
Yeah.
The same people, the older generation right now, they were having the magazines, and instead of using the phone in a work break, they were having magazines and newspapers on the kitchen table or in the canteen, and they were reading the magazines or the newspaper. Actually, the same things were happening, but now it's just a mobile phone to interact with friends, and before it was, to consume content in magazines, in newspapers.
Exactly.
So I think it's a human need to also maybe get impulses of other things than just the current space you're in. So honestly, I think it's a little hypocrite if you say like, the mobile phone is worse than 30 years before when we didn't have a mobile phone. Technology just exposed us.
Exactly.
But before we also get exposed, it was not a mobile phone, it was a magazine.
And like, if you look at, for example, kids nowadays, right? Like a lot of parents are talking about it, and that's why it's a good question for you when you're in the digital space of kids' development. A lot of parents and teachers and scientists are saying that the newest generation of kids, they're often too much on their screens, or and others say it's fine, they can develop faster. How do you think the next generations of kids, so let's say the kids that are getting born now and maybe in the next 5 years, how will their development be different towards, for example, our development in the 90s and the 2000s? And will it be better, or will we see more, I wouldn't say lazy kids,
You can say it.
Kids that are a bit bored quickly, and how is it going with the development of the attention span? I think probably you have some good insights on that.
100%. You know, the thing, I always use this analogy of technology, of kids' tablets. It's the kitchen knife. What I mean with that is a kitchen knife can be used really badly to cut somebody, and kill somebody in a really worse situation. So yes, a kid's tablet, you can use it way too much, only watch it, be distracted only by the kid's tablet, don't interact with social kids, don't go outside to play. That's a bad, destructive way, of course.
Yeah.
But with a kitchen knife, you also can prepare really healthy and fresh meals for your own family. So that being said, with a kid's tablet, you can have an additional toy, an additional stimuli to develop to responsible educational practice or skills. You won't learn, you won't get taught or outside or inside. So I think it's a really big, nice additional on nowadays modern parenting, but use it just a little bit. We say kids from 2, 3, 4 years old, maximum 10 minutes, 15 minutes a time, maximum 30 minutes a day, preferably with the parent itself. So it's not like, I'm a mother and I'm gonna cook, and I'm bored of my kid who is just annoying. I just give him this kid's tablet and that's it. I have time for myself. No, please also, especially when your kid is 2, 3, 4 years old, interact with your kids. Give sincere attention to your kids, and then I think that's the most powerful combination. But please use as an addition in nowadays parenting. Please, we are the first one who's saying, please let your kid outside, let them play outside with friends. That's the most important thing. But if you can choose between passively watching TV on the couch or using the kid's tablet proactively, but learning educational toys, I think that's the ideal situation. So it's not like replacement of playing outside. It's just like an additional instead of watching passively TV.
Yeah, I agree. I actually totally agree. Yeah, it's a really good strength to be learning while playing, so to say. For parents watching, take that as a good advice, because sometimes parents, probably you see that too, are asking like, hey, what do I do with my kid? He's constantly bored, he's constantly annoying. But if I look back to my own youth, I was only playing football all day long outside.
I think that's good.
And
what are you gonna do after, 3-4 hours playing football outside in the summer, I assume, because I think in Denmark or Netherlands or Germany, whatever, it's way too cold in the winter to play outside the whole day. What are you gonna do afterwards in the evening when it's getting dark? You're gonna, drop on the couch and watching TV passively, or even worse, as a parent, you don't want to get your kid being annoying, so you give your own phone for your kids so they can watch passively TV on a small screen, or you just give them a kid's tablet with a touchscreen pen and they can start developing, 1, 2, 3 ABC, start drawing, start reading stories. So I think it's an addition, like for the second or third time, not or but and.
Exactly.
So yeah, 100%.
Nice.
And also, that's important to say. It's not like, we are DEPLAY, we have a kid's tablet, buy a kid's tablet. No, please. As a parent, you are powerful, you are responsible. Please parent your kids as you want it or you think that's the best way. Some parents say no screen time for the first 6 years. Perfect. If you don't feel like to it, don't do it. But if you use nowadays, or if you give your own phone away, or you're gonna put him on the couch, watch TV, or even worse, your kid is watching you always on your phone 24/7, and then when your kid is getting curious, you don't want to give something, then I think, for example, a kid's tablet can be really interesting.
Yeah.
But as every parent has a different way of parenting, and we are the first who support that.
Yeah. So for all the parents that are tired of or afraid even of giving their own iPhone or iPad to their kids and still want their kids to be curious, being learning and developing, definitely take a look at what DEPLAY can do for your kids. So where can everybody find you?
Yes, find me. I think in the description you can just put a link to my Instagram.
Mm-hmm. What is your handle?
My handle is just at my name Luuk Waterschoot. Dutch name, last name is a little bit more difficult. Luuk Waterschoot. And then you can put a link in the description.
Yeah.
And otherwise DEPLAY.nl at DEPLAY.nl for the socials, for the website as well. So
cool.
Yes, I'm really happy to build the brand every day. Start with the why. Every day I wake up building the brand. Really lovely to do. Like my baby.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy and also proud that you, Jelmer, and Flizz can help us with growing our beautiful brand on the email marketing side. And even though it's
happy to do so.
Yes, thank you. Even though it's slow but steady, I believe in long term. And long term we will grow definitely. So
when is .com coming?
.com depends on the owner of the domain. How nice he is with giving the domain, because I think it can cost thousands of euros for now.
Yeah.
But always interesting to check.
Cool. Well, thank you, Luuk, for joining. It was a pleasure. Really good talks. I think for the people watching and listening, was a lot of great value. And maybe you mentioned already. Maybe we should talk more in a part 2 if people
the guys want that.
If then, you want, we want to keep the podcast kind of not too long, so that's why we kind of end it here. You have to catch a flight as well.
Yeah.
So I will let you go for now. But let us know what you think about it, and if you would like a second part, and we can arrange that with Luuk, because I think it was a great talk with a lot of value for a lot of parents and people.
Let the people decide. We can have a lot of fun, but if nobody's interested,
exactly. So thank you all for watching or listening on the platform you're on, either on Spotify or YouTube, and I'm hoping to see you in the next episode.
Ciao.